On this episode of Too Many Projects Garage, I drink a Pepsi over here, and we're gonna fiberglass this because it is brittle, very, very brittle. As you can see, it's already cracking in multiple places. As you can see over here too, this whole section's missing. And while it's mostly intact, I want to make sure it stays that way and continues to be intact. Fingers crossed. But yeah, we're gonna do this one, and then we also have the other one, which is right there. I think that's the passenger side one. That one's a little bit better shape. This one, not so much. So it's getting a little bit worn out. So we're gonna hopefully make it a lot stronger, and I'll feel better. All right, guys, before we continue on the door panels, I actually want to talk about the wiring that we did on the door, because we didn't really leave that last video that we did on the wiring on a good spot. Now, my friend who's later in this video, she helped me work on the wiring because she's like a wiring guru. And now the door window works perfectly. The only thing we couldn't get working is the lock. Does not work, but I mean, you can lock it manually. Also, this door rolls down perfectly. Not as smooth as the driver's side, but it works really good. And I'm very happy with how it turned out. So let's continue on working on the door panels and the headliner. So my friend Natasha here, she purchased this piece of plastic. No, she didn't actually purchase it. She actually broke it out of her Dodge truck over there. You know how like they're notorious for really cracked dashes and stuff? Well, we need a piece of plastic to fit right in this little puzzle piece right here. And so, because it's totally missing that whole section. So we need something to fill that gap. And that way it doesn't permeate, you know, into the fabric as well. We're gonna put something behind it too, just so that doesn't happen. Maybe some tape or something like that. And then we'll start slathering on the resin. And we've got this cool fiberglass roll here. It's gonna be pretty cool. Now, while she's working on the door panels, I'm gonna go and take out the headliner, because as you can see, it's quite rough. And it's looking horrible. Stuff is falling down, particles. It's really bad, so it'll be nice not to have the problems that we're having. All right, I made some progress. Got the rear view mirror out, both the sun visors out. Got to work on this next. And then, I also got this loose. And then I guess I got to figure out how to get this stuff off. So this is going to be the most annoying bit. All right, we're making progress. We've got a couple pieces laid in, just kind of in their spot where they're going to end up being. We got a reinforcing metal piece back here, and I put some plastic that I cut out right there so that it doesn't bleed through, just because we're gonna have to probably put quite a bit of resin in that spot at least. And then yeah, we're just reinforcing it little by little, cutting pieces out, because yeah, I don't want this to shatter on me. You can tell, I don't know if it's always broken. Yeah, it's already broken. I don't want to make it worse, but I'm curious, like with this stuff, like was it always that orange or yellow or whatever color that is, golden? I don't know what you'd call that, but I'm pretty sure. If you guys know, if any of the old fogies out there who had one of these cars and they were new and they took off a door panel and they saw this plastic, let me know. I'm curious if this is the original color. And if it is, that doesn't surprise me, because there's a lot of old orange plastic or orangish plastic that is very brittle now. Like old hammers and stuff like that use that kind of color plastic. It makes me wonder if like that's the cause. Who knows? I don't know. Anyways, this hasn't discolored, so I don't know what type of plastic this is versus this plastic. This is ABS, I know. It said it on here underneath this. ABS. Oops. Fucking ABS. It says ABS there. Honda. And then I'm not sure what that plastic is. It didn't really say. So anyways, we're filling it out. We're gonna layer it up, slather this stuff on, and it's gonna be strong. I'm excited. All right, guys, that was a big pain, but it is out. And man, look how easy it is to rip this fabric. There's like nothing left. Like, super easy to rip. It's like consists of nothing basically. So we've got a much nicer, thicker fabric. I'm gonna scrape all this old foam off, which I've breathed in too much of it, and I feel like I'm gonna get mesothelioma. But you know, wish me luck. And plus that has a latency of only 40 years, so you know, I'll be 60 then, so I probably will feel like dying at that point anyway. So here we go. Now guys, I'm able to rip this off fairly easy. I can't really do it with one hand, but it's just peeling right off, which makes it super easy, and it gives us a good surface to put the new backing on, which I'm pretty excited about. Good things are happening, guys. I'm able to peel this foam backing off that's disintegrated to nothing basically, but the backing is actually still intact, so I can just go like this. It's like super satisfying, except for if I ripped it, but super satisfying to peel off. Oops. Oh yeah. I guess the adhesive has failed over time enough that it makes it really easy to peel off, which is nice. Come on, cooperate with me. Oh yeah, there we go. We've got a little bit of a water leak there at some point by the door. By the front of the door, maybe the window at some point. Kind of see some remnants here. But you can see how they constructed it. They cut these little things in it so they can form it, which is kind of neat. I like that. Behind the scenes, you know. And since I could rip this all off, I don't have to breathe near as much of the dust, which is, you know, great for me. Oh, look at this. Ugh. Ooh. Gross. Well, that one's a little tougher, but oh, yeah. Just these two spots are the hardest spots to get, apparently. But hey, look, it's pretty much fresh, guys. Ha! Exciting. So I'm going to use the leaf blower and just blow this all off, and then we can start spraying it and putting new stuff on it. So we've got everything pretty much laid out how we're going to do it for the most part. There's a couple spots we'll probably have to go over again, but the black plastic is polypropylene, PP, and we like the PP. ABS, we don't like the ABS. It falls apart over time and gets cracky and brittle and all that. And I'm pretty sure that's what these two types of plastics are, and that's why they're so brittle. And that's why when you look at 1980, like the third gen Civics, which is like 1986 to 87, or maybe, no, 84 to 7, whatever. Anyways, those are pretty much all ABS, like fenders and all that, and they shatter over time just because they're made out of the same stuff this stuff is made out of. And I guess Honda figured it out when they made the EF hatchbacks and didn't make anything out of ABS, so everything works perfectly, but then they changed their mind on this generation, and then now everything is falling apart. So we're trying to reverse course here so that doesn't happen. So we're making progress, as you can see. It's looking really nice. We've got this little inset done and got that inset done, and now we're doing the outer parts of the door. And I was doing some research because I was curious, like, what causes ABS and plastics like this to become brittle? Well, ABS is already brittle already, and it uses plasticizers to become soft and melt and all that jazz and be able to harden and everything. And the plasticizer that we use, or they used at the time back in the 90s, eventually is very volatile, so it evaporates out of the plastic over the years with like heat cycling and being in the sun, UV, whatever, and that causes ABS to become very brittle, and then thus all the cracking. So, and the only way to make ABS soft again is to melt it and put more plasticizers in the ABS. So unfortunately, there's no way to reactivate, this stuff and make it less brittle in situ, you have to, you know, melt it. So this is the only real solution for this type of situation, is to reinforce it with, say, fiberglass, because that is a totally different thing. It's a resin, you know, it's not a plastic, so it's a little different. So yeah, pretty neat. I thought that was kind of a cool little knowledge thing I could share, and hopefully we'll be done here in a little bit, and then we can start on the headliner. Just like that, we're all done putting the resin on, and it should actually harden up over the next few hours, and then I'll leave it over. I'm probably going to leave it for a couple nights because I ordered some new clips from Amazon, and so when those come in, then I'll put the door panels on with all brand new clips, so that way it stays on like good, because these clips are getting old and they start breaking, and it's just not worth even keeping the old ones at this point. So now let's start working on this. So we bought this high strength 90 3M, and it has moisture and heat resistant, which is really what we need for cars. If you get the 77, which is like the most common, that's what most people say to use, but that's not as good in the heat. So, and it doesn't hold up as well to wet. So this is going to be where it's at. So we're going to spray this on there, let it set up for, I think it's like 5-10 minutes or 4 minutes or whatever. And then we're going to spray the backside of the fabric and drape it over, and then boom, it'll be attached together permanently, and then we'll cut out all the holes and everything. So exciting. Using my fiance's car to kind of drape the fabric because we don't want to lay it on the ground. Obviously it's really dirty, and I've cleaned the hood, so it's not so bad. The car's fairly clean, and we're just kind of measuring it out right now, and then we'll spray it down, and then we're just gonna fold it up over, which will be really cool. So let's get it cut out, and then get it kind of to the right size, and then go from there. All right, guys, we carefully draped it over the top. And I picked this material because it's kind of soft, and I like that, and it's got a cool texture to it. It's not like super consistently one color, so I like that. And yeah, we're getting it there. We got both sides coated, and we're just pushing it down now.
24 hours later.
Time to flip it over and wrap it around and glue the edges down, trim it up, of course. And then I'll let that set up with the glue, and then we'll install it on the car tomorrow. I'm gonna let it set overnight. These are looking really good. Nice and hard. Ooh, I like it. I'm just waiting on these little clips, new ones, to come in, because these ones are all worn out. And it would be nice to just have new, fresh ones, so when I put the door panels on, I won't have to take them off for a while. So let's get this flipped over. Got it flipped over. Now it's time to trim these up. Also, these Harbor Freight scissors are freaking awesome. So I highly recommend, if you have a Harbor Freight near you, go ahead and pick one of these up. Totally worth your while. Let's go ahead and trim all this up around the edges, and then we'll spray it all with glue. All trimmed up. Now we're just going to spray along the edges on both the cardboard and on the headliner material, and on the fabric itself. We'll let that set up for a couple minutes, and then we'll fold it over. Got it all sprayed up. Now we're just gonna let it set up for about a minute or two, and then I'll fold it over, and we'll see how it looks. All right, guys, it's all ready to go. Almost didn't cut that one enough, or didn't leave enough on there. Well, that was a close one, but it seems like we got enough. And then lastly, we'll cut this out and then oval holes out, so that way we can put everything back how it was. And I'll do that tomorrow when all this sets up. All right, just like that, it's been overnight, and everything's set up. Looks really good. Everything's sticking well. Now I just got to cut holes for all the different bits and stuff. And then once that's done, I can slide it into place. All right, guys, it's in. It's not perfect. Like back there's some issues with the fabric not sticking, but other than that, it looks pretty good. Had some trouble getting those in, and I still don't think they're fully in, but I'm just gonna leave them as is for now, and it does look 1,000 times better though, so I'm pretty happy with it. Door panels are installed, though I do need to source some screws to go in the holes that we're missing, but they are looking really nice and very strong now, which is Great. And now I'm going to work on replacing this radio because this one doesn't work anymore, and also this is all busted, and I've got a new one of those back there. So here we go. All right, everything's nice. Door panels reinstalled. They look really nice. I actually kind of sort of fixed that corner. I just kind of pushed it back and it seems to stay. So we'll see how long that lasts. But only thing I need to do is just vacuum. It's quite dusty in here, but I got the new radio installed. Looks fairly nice. I had to modify this bezel, but it works to make it work. And then got the new vents installed. They look really nice. So overall, I'm very pleased. Car is 1,000 times better than it was. Actually, I'm looking forward to driving it every day now for work. And yeah, let me know what you guys think.